Hey guys, so today I have a game where I had a terrible early and mid game. I'm gonna show you guys what to do when you're in this situation, how to stop the bleeding, and basically make sure that you don't go bottom 8 and maybe even win. So let's get into it. Off the first carousel, we each get a fawn, so we still don't know what we're going for. We don't have any items to guide us into what kind of team we want to make, but the first item we end up getting is gonna be a cloak. That doesn't help us either in deciding if we want to go AP or AD, so let's wait and see what else we get. For this shop, I don't get any pairs as well. I do have a Ziggs pair, but I don't have a tier or a bow, so I don't really want to grab him. In hindsight, maybe I should have, but generally in this type of situation where you know you're gonna have a bad start, I recommend picking up Kha'Zix because he's gonna help you not lose as much HP as you probably would otherwise. And so here we get a glove, and we can slam a QSS, but honestly I don't find myself building QSS that often in this set. There is CC, but I don't think it's like detrimental unless you're playing somebody like Jax. It's nice to have on someone like Vel'Koz so that they're not interrupted while they're channeling, but other than that, I don't think there's much value in it, especially now that the Zephyrs go through QSS. Let's take a look at the next shop. We have a Trundle pair and a Kalista pair, so I don't know, do we play the 2 Trundles or do we go with the 2 Knights? Honestly, it doesn't matter because either way this is a really bad start, so I don't expect to win at all. We'll just keep the pairs on our bench, I guess, but I fully expect to lose and probably be lose streaking up to the next carousel. This guy also only has 1 stars, but he has a Hellion start, which is the best start in the game. It's absolutely disgusting, so without a doubt this is going to be a loss. And from this point on, you should just try to lose streak and earn as much gold as you can until the next carousel. So let's see if that ends up happening. My Kha'Zix is trying his hardest, but he's definitely not winning it. He did kill enough units though, so we only lose 2 HP, which is really good. Okay, next we have the armory, and we can choose between a spooky glove or a chain vest. We're gonna go with the chain vest because we already have a glove. I don't think we need 2 gloves, unless you know for sure you're playing some kind of crit Draven like IE Last Whisper. I don't think 2 gloves is necessary in a comp. And right now, if you don't know exactly what you're doing, you should pick up a tank item so that you can make your front line stronger. Even if you don't know what you're going for in any comp, you need a good front line. So you can't go wrong with a chain vest in that situation. However, if at this point you only have defensive items, you don't have any gloves, bows, swords, or rods, you should definitely pick one up if it's offered to you in the armory, because you don't want all defensive items, you want a good mix. So yeah, even if you don't know where you're going, that's something good to keep in mind. Make sure that you have a good variation of items to build on. And this next guy we're playing against is also going Hellion, so yay! Okay, we have actually a really good loss. 1 unit loss, that's great. Okay, I'm gonna give another tip about picking your item in the armory. So if the armory doesn't give you something like a rod or a sword, which are super high value, it gives you something like a glove and a chain vest like what I had, and you don't know what you're going for, what comp you're building, a safe move is to just pick the normal item over the shadow item. And I say this because the shadow item can build into something very situational that you don't know if you want in your comp later. Unless you're playing Forgottens, you want to pick up shadow item every single time, but if you're not playing Forgottens, you can't go wrong with picking up a normal item that's defensive, like a chain vest, or even a belt. Any comp can use that, any frontline can use that, so just keep that in mind if next time you don't know what you're doing and you don't know what to decide during the armory. Just ask yourself, do I have a good mix of offensive and defensive items? And if you do, then just go with the normal item. Keep these things in mind when you're going into a carousel round or when you're trying to pick what item you should get during the armory, because come late game it's gonna leave you with a bunch of options if you have different components to work with. You won't be just stuck trying to force a specific comp. And here we actually grab a tier because we don't have a tier in our components, and a lot of AP comps are reliant on that. So I just grab a tier to keep that option open. A good way to stay flexible is just to look at the components you have and pick up something that you don't have. So yeah, that's what I did with tier, and now I'm thinking we can go redeemed or we can go Dawnbringer. We have a lot of Forgottens as well, but in this lobby I saw 4 or 5 people playing Forgotten, so I actually don't want anything to do with that because that's just automatic 8th if you just try to fight everybody in the lobby. Like, see, look at this guy we're up against, Forgottens. So yeah, we definitely don't want to go down that road. So right now our team is still not that strong yet because we don't have a single rod or a single sword. I'm just waiting for the minion round because it's definitely gonna drop one. If you guys don't know, if you don't have like a certain component, the chances of it dropping are a lot higher. We're gonna be losing a lot of rounds because we don't have any damage items right now and our components are still components. We didn't slam anything yet. So yeah, that's kind of what happens when you have no idea, because the game is just giving you all kinds of different things, and yeah, you're just kind of doing whatever you can to just not lose HP. Our board isn't that strong, so it is what it is. You just have to deal with it for a little bit. You can try to stabilize right now by slamming your items, but honestly, even though I've been losing, I'm at 90 health, so there's no need to be slamming items and limiting yourself in that way, because if you slam items this early, you're kind of just hurting yourself. You still have a lot of items to go. Unless you know for sure what comp you're going by now, like the game has already given you a bunch of Dawnbringers or they're giving you a bunch of Forgotten and you know what you need. Like, there's no need to slam items if you're still pretty healthy. However, if you're like this guy's at 68 HP, you know, I'd be a little bit worried, but we're okay. And actually, I say that we're okay, but later on, I think we're actually going to be way worse than the guy at 60 HP. So anyway, now we're at Krugs. We're going to get more items and we'll start to have a better direction of where we want to go with our team. So let's see what we get here. I end up selling my Forgotten units because I know for sure I don't want to be contesting people. So just get rid of the garbage and make some room on your bench. And here we get a rod and giant spell, and I think we also get a sword here. So now you kind of can get an idea of what team comp you can make with your items. Because we didn't get a bow, you don't want to force a Philios or Draven. And since we have the tier, we can go for either Vel'Koz or Karma. And both Vel'Koz and Karma use Gunblade, so I'm gonna slam that. And I feel pretty good slamming this because at this stage, you should kind of know what team you're going for. You shouldn't still be open to like a bunch of different comps, because at that point you're not playing flexibly. That's just called not knowing how to play the game. That's just called not knowing what's going on at all, right? You should kind of narrow down your options by now. So now I've narrowed it down to either Karma carry or Vel'Koz carry. I have my Gunblade, and I'd say this is a decent spot to be in. At this point, I've made up my mind and narrowed my options to an AP carry, so we're gonna think about what items we need. And Vel'Koz and Karma both use Jeweled Gauntlet, so that's an easy choice in the armory. We're gonna get the Rod. And we'll pick up these redeemed units just so we can start building a comp around Vel'Koz. And right now I have these items on Kalista. I don't think she's the best item holder, but I don't have Brand 2-starred or any other person 2-starred that I feel like would be good with these items, so I'm just gonna leave it on Kalista for now. And if you look at my board, it's still not great, right? Like, there's 2 Legionnaires and 2 Dawnbringer and just random Leona. I mean, you just gotta play what you have, and that's what I have, you know? I'm gonna take out a random 2-star Leona and put in a 1-star Brand, right? So it is what it is. We're gonna try to play our strongest board until we can find a Karma or Vel'Koz and go from there. So yeah, we're definitely gonna be losing for a little bit just because of the state of our team right now. It's just not great. I see a Kragus. I'm gonna start picking up Dawnbringers as well as redeemed, keeping our options open to either one of those. I've also built a Sunfire because I know that I don't need those components on Karma or Vel'Koz, so yeah, definitely build what you can for your front line with your leftover items and try to stop the bleeding. So just play your strongest board and wait until you can get your carry. This game ends up being a little bit weird because of that Fawn everybody started with. So people are gonna spike pretty early, they can get their synergies in, and we're gonna actually be losing quite a bit of HP after they all hit like level 7, because they'll have a level 8 team basically. They'll have 8 units. Another important thing to note is that in this state you shouldn't be spamming levels. You need to prioritize your economy so that you can fast 8 and then roll down for your carries. Other people are already like level 6, or they spent all their gold to go level 7 because they're trying to maintain a streak or they're trying to not lose HP. Don't do that, because if you have an idea of what you're supposed to do, stick with it. Don't just be spamming levels because everybody else is spamming levels. That's just not good play. On that carousel, I was actually looking for a tier so that I could make blue buff, but there was no tier on the carousel, so I tilted and grabbed a random Sejuani with a chain vest. Yeah, there was a Rel with a chain vest. So when you play, just don't tilt and make better decisions than I make. But the reason I grabbed the chain vest is because I already pretty much have the items I need for my carry. So now I want to focus on my front line, just making it a lot tankier. And that's why I went for a chain vest. And I ended up putting in a second Brand because right now Brand is kind of like an OP 1-cost unit. You see, we only lost by a little bit. So yeah, we're just trying to preserve our HP right now. And we're at 50 gold, so we're just gonna keep our economy and keep leveling. We're trying to fast 8 right now without losing too much health. 2-star Brand is gonna help a lot with that. And we see more redeemed units, so we're gonna pick those up. On the next minion round, if we get a tier to make a blue buff, then we're gonna play Karma, because even though I know I made a guide on Vel'Koz, right now we only have a 1-star Syndra, and honestly, if you play Vel'Koz, I think having a 3-star Syndra is very, very helpful. Like, if you don't have it, I don't think it's gonna be a first, because the Syndra actually does a lot of the work and actually comes in clutch for that team comp. So since it doesn't look like we're gonna hit 3-star Syndra, we can't afford it. We're losing HP and we need to find a carry. We're gonna aim to play Karma, but it's just whatever you hit first. Whatever you hit first, put those items on and play it. But we're gonna try to get a blue buff and play Karma. Now we're at the minion round, and let's see if we can get a tier. If we do, we can just put the blue buff on Bran and he'll be our item holder. Bran is awesome with blue buff, so he's gonna be able to at least help us not lose HP until we find Karma. And here we actually don't get a tier, so I'm a little bit disappointed, but oh well, that's the game. You just gotta work with what you got, and that random bow is just not what we need right now, but oh well. I'm gonna build a gargoyles. Just make your frontline tankier. Again, you don't need those items on your carry, so just put them on your tank. And the glove and the bow isn't really gonna help us at the moment, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. I don't know what we're gonna make with it later, but yeah, it's just not important for this team comp. We also level up and put in Lux because we don't have that many synergies on our team, honestly, and the last couple of rounds we actually took a lot of damage, so we need to make the team stronger somehow. Okay, so here we have the armory, and I'm gonna choose to go for a shadow tier because we can make a dark blue buff. Since we don't have a normal tier, that's kind of like the second best thing you got. And yeah, we're just gonna sit on it. We'll also transfer the items onto Bran and hope he carries us for a little bit. We also hit an Ivern, so we'll play that and put in Zyra for Spell Reaver. We're down to 52 HP now, so it's not ideal to be at this HP if you're trying to pass 8, because you should be pretty healthy and have health to spare if you're waiting and only spending gold on leveling. So actually we should be rolling right now or pretty soon, because if we don't, we're just gonna lose all our HP spending money on levels. Right now it kind of takes a turn for the worse because we're taking our 4th loss here, which is super bad. We're gonna be at 40 HP. So now you should know that you can't go fast 8 anymore because you're too low, and you need to start rolling so that you can get a stronger board. We're gonna roll and 2-star some units. But yeah, if you don't have the HP, you need to roll at 7. And rolling at 7 isn't horrible, it's just not optimal for the odds, but if you're in the situation, you just gotta do what you gotta do, because we're not exactly in a comfortable spot right now. So yeah, we're actually gonna lose another round too, which is terrible. We're gonna be at like 30 HP after this, so we really gotta get it together and figure something out. The only good thing about being in this spot is that you have first pick on the carousel, so we're gonna go for a tier. And yeah, now we can make our blue buff and have perfect items for Karma. The only thing we need now is the actual unit, so we just have to roll and try to hit it. or try to hit a Vel'Koz. Either one works. In this situation, you just kind of take whatever you can get. When you roll down in this situation, try to not tunnel on rolling the carry that you need, because, well, if you don't hit it, you're kind of screwed, right? You need to buy whatever you can get, whatever good units you find. If you can find like a 4-cost unit, here we find Rel, so we're gonna pick that up and have a pretty decent frontliner. We keep rolling, and 2-star Kha'Zix, sure. Okay, and let's keep rolling some more, and we finally hit Karma, so now we're in a decent spot. We also get Volibear for a Revenant, so that's great. We spiked super hard, and we're definitely in a way better position than we were before. And yeah, we should definitely not be losing anymore. At this point, we're really strong, to be honest. We actually beat the guy in first place, so we're super strong right now. And we still have 40 gold, so not bad. And now is actually when the Fawn is working in our favor, because we have a pretty good team put together without being level 8. We have 8 units. And we find a Garen, so I'll admit that was pretty lucky. But yeah, now we want to start transitioning our team and replacing some useless units or units that aren't as great with 4-cost units. Like Set, at this point of the game, we don't really want him. So we're gonna put in Rel. And yeah, our team is looking pretty good. We just need a 2-star everybody, and it should be good from now on. This round we actually lose really hard. I mean, we're strong, but other people that had HP or gold to go level 8 is gonna be stronger. So we actually take a big hit. We're 19 HP now, but we have a lot of gold, so we're gonna try to go level 8 and roll down with whatever gold we have left. Yeah, and this round we're gonna get some items. Hopefully it'll help us. Actually, what we want in this situation is a bunch of gold so that we can go 8. But let's see what we get. We have these 3 components as well that we haven't built, so yeah, we need to use that. And we get some gold, which helps us a lot. 2-star Ivern, and yeah, let's go 8. We have 35 gold, which is a good amount. And right now I see a Teemo, so I'm gonna pick him up. It's gonna put us lower HP, but 4 Invoker is a pretty good spike. And we 2-star our Karma, so yeah, now we actually have a decent team. And let's use some of these items so that we don't die after buying Teemo. We'll just make a Spooky Hodge on Garen, and I guess we can make a Rapid Fire on Teemo as well. Just use all the items and do what you have to do to win, because we're basically at 1 life right now if we take a huge loss, so just play strong. We win this round, so we're still in it. Still last place, but I mean, hey, we're alive, right? So right now I'm just gonna keep rolling because I'm still about to die, so just gonna keep rolling. And I'm trying to see if maybe 6 Dawnbringer would be better, but I don't want to take out 4 Invoker because it's really strong with Karma. So I'm just gonna leave it as is and hope that we survive a few more rounds to get an item. And right now I'm a little bit scared because we're right across from that Vel'Koz, so yeah, if Karma dies, we're screwed. But luckily, he kind of ultis on the other way, so we got lucky there. Volibear's ulti was pretty huge, so yeah, I'm not gonna take Volibear and Rel out to put in 6 Dawnbringer because his Volibear is honestly having some pretty pog ults. Okay, here we have Kindred. And honestly, I should be putting in Kindred instead of Rel right now because she's not really doing anything for me. I don't have another Ironclad. So, yeah, that's what I should have done, but I kind of just wasn't thinking at this time. I was just kind of like, oh, do I lose? Do I lose this round? My mind was just on that this entire time. So, yeah. I should have definitely put in the Kindred, but I'll realize it a little bit later. We're up against this Forgotten guy now, and we haven't been able to beat him all game. We've lost so much HP to him, just not being able to beat him multiple times. But Volibear had a huge ulti, so we win this round. And somebody else got knocked out, which means we're not 7th anymore. As long as we keep winning, we'll slowly make it to the top 4. And wow, this Volibear is coming straight for us, so let's take that. Free 2-star Volibear. And he has the perfect item on him. I'm really happy about that. Okay, now we're in a really good spot. 2-star Volibear will definitely help a lot. And let's see. Okay, I still haven't put in my Kindred over Rel, but I think I will later on. We see another Teemo, but yeah, we're definitely not doing that. I mean, we might have 1 life left in us if we lose a round, so I'm not gonna pick up a Teemo. We already have him for Invoker. He's not the main carry. And we scout around. There's some Viegos, because there's so many forgotten teams. So we need to reposition and make sure that we don't get our Karma stolen by Viego, because that's automatic loss. Yeah, just bunch up our units in the corner. And we win pretty easily. Now we're on a pretty good win streak. The other guy also died, so we're either going to be 5th or 4th at this point. We just need to be careful about all these Viegos. See how there's so many people in this lobby playing Forgotten? I had a bunch of Forgotten units too in the beginning, and I scouted. I saw just an obscene amount of people playing Forgotten this game, so yeah, there's not much to say about it. When you see that, don't play the same thing. That's just dumb. Like, can you guarantee you're gonna high roll over everybody? Especially because there's always that one guy that gets a 2% Draven at level 5. That's just a bad idea to play the same thing as everybody else. And this guy, he has these gloves. He RNG'd a Shroud of Stillness, so we're actually gonna lose this round, I think. So very unlucky. We moved to the left side because I saw that a bunch of Viegos were over on the right, and yeah, we're gonna lose this round, but only by 1 unit, so we're still alive. Now we're on to the minion round. We get a Sunfire. That's obviously gonna go onto Volibear. He jumps into the middle of everybody, so yeah, no brainer here. Just put the Sunfire on Volibear. We're gonna scout around and see if anybody got a Zephyr, but no one did, so we're good. To be honest, because so many people contested Forgotten this game, we were able to come back super hard, but you'll find that to be the case in a lot of games. There's always, you know, a bunch of people playing the same carry, the same broken comp, because, well, people like forcing, and if you play flexibly like we were doing, then you have a good shot at being top 4, even if you're behind a little bit in the beginning. Just make sure to scout and check what people are playing so that you don't end up contesting. Also, just make good decisions on your items. Okay, here I put in a Taric, I guess to give Knight to Garen. But yeah, definitely the right play here would be Kindred. I didn't realize that until I saw his Kindred, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna put in my own Kindred next round. But yeah, we win against this guy who's in first. Okay, and the other guy got knocked out, so we're in the top 4 now. Now we roll a little bit and we see Heimerdinger, but then finally it clicks to me, put in the Kindred. So yeah, I put in my Kindred like I should have done a long time ago. And we're just gonna scout, see if we need to change our positioning a little bit. There's that Viego all the way at the end, so we'll put our Gragas in front of our Kindred so that Kindred doesn't get stolen. And yeah, let's see. Okay, so Kindred ultis so that Gragas isn't stolen, which buys us enough time to have Syndra send away the Viego, and then we just destroy his team and knock him out. Yeah. Okay, we're actually second now, which is not bad. We were in a terrible spot before, pretty much 8th place, but I guess since we all started with the Fawn, people thought that they could get a free 9 Forgotten at level 8 and then just win the game, but obviously that's not going to work out if everybody else has the same idea, so just make sure you're not one of those people and you'll be fine. There are plenty of comps that you can play, so as long as you stay flexible, you shouldn't be limited to a single comp. In this game, we didn't get a bow early on, so I just didn't go for Aphelios, and I didn't go for Draven because of how many people were playing Forgotten. We had items for Karma, so yeah, just play what you get. This guy we're up against right now, we actually lost to earlier by 1 unit because he RNG'd the Shroud on his Thieves Gloves, but now he doesn't have that, so we win. And actually he got knocked out by the other guy, so it's me against one of the Forgotten players. Okay, now we're on to the last carousel. I'm gonna pick up the Redemption here because I can slap it on Kindred to help her ulti sooner. That guy actually picked up a Shadow Shroud, which is pretty devastating to my team. Well, yeah, that's definitely the best option for him because he counters me with that. So we're just gonna have to keep an eye on him and then move our Karma at the last second. He put it over there, so we're gonna move over to this side and then I'm gonna move my Karma to the middle because sometimes when you're moving your units, people start moving at the same time, so I like to move it multiple times. I don't know. But yeah, he ended up keeping the Shroud on the other side, so it didn't even hit us. And yeah, I'm pretty sure we just win because we didn't get shrouded. It's a first. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and found some of these tips useful. If you ever get a game where you don't get a clear start or you have items that are a little bit confusing, you don't really know what direction to go in, you want to be flexible, hope some of these tips are helpful in that situation. But anyway, I'll see you guys next time.